Hi, welcome. Today we are cooling down our voice. So, first thing to address is what is a vocal cool down? If it's not obvious, it's basically the opposite of a vocal warm up. So, a warm up, you are gradually stretching your vocal fold and you're increasing intensity, you're widening your range. With a vocal cool down, we're instead of stretching out the vocal folds longer, we're bringing the vocal folds back into our speaking voice range, where typically they're shorter and thicker. Um, Instead of widening the range, we are narrowing the range, and instead of increasing intensity, we're decreasing intensity. So, um, hello. Hi, Pete. The other question to answer real quick is, do you always need to do a vocal cool down? And the answer to that is probably not. Some people might say, yeah, what's the harm in cooling down after every time you sing? If here's my personal kind of philosophy on this. If you aren't feeling fatigued, if you haven't been working very hard or for very long, chances are you technically don't need a cool down. But if your voice is feeling a little bit sore and tired, if you know that you've been working hard or doing things that you normally don't do, like maybe you've been working really hard on range extension or belting, something like that, then a cool down is a good idea. Um, so, our goal is to reset the vocal folds and take down any swelling that might have occurred. So our lesson today will kind of be in three parts. First, exercises that help take down swelling. Second, we'll use exercises that take us from our singing range or our full range into our narrower, lower speaking voice range. And then last, we're going to do some stretching and breathing and some self massage. So it'll be a nice, relaxed day. Um, let's go. So, first, taking down swelling. Just know first off that swelling is normal. Muscles and tissues can swell with use. It's usually not a problem as long as we give them adequate time to rest. So, before we rest the muscles and tissues involved in singing, we can do a few exercises that are proven to reduce swelling. The first actually requires a little prop. So if you have a straw in your home, go grab it. You can take me with you and go grab your straw. If you also have a cup of water, you can put about an inch or two of water in your cup. We've got dueling Pete's in the chat, in the live chat. So you might be familiar with straw phonation. This is the easiest way to make sure that you are doing it correctly. So if you've got one, grab a straw. It can just be a regular drinking straw. This is not a fancy singing straw, just a drinking straw. And a cup of water with an inch or two. You don't need the whole cup filled up. We're going to be blowing into this. And if the cup is full, you will have water on your floor. So we're taking our straw. Eventually, we're just going to sing into the straw. Kind of feels like you're humming or singing an ooh through the straw, but how we're going to make sure we're doing it correctly is by submerging it in water. And that's what we're looking for, sound and bubbles at the same time. If I just have sound, but no bubbles, that means I'm just humming. And if I just have bubbles, that means my vocal folds are not vibrating together or phonating. I'm not making any sound. That's not useless, but for our purposes, that's useless. So we want sound and bubbles at the same time. If you've got both of these things handy, just start any pitch, does not matter, and make noise through your straw, looking for bubbles. Okay, once you've got that down, you can actually remove your straw from water. If you like the sensation, a lot of people do like the added back pressure of the water. But if you don't, you can just use the straw by itself. And And we're going to do some octave slides just like that. So I'm going to, so that I can have my hands, I'm dropping the straw and I'll just play for you. But we are singing through the straw if you got it. If you don't have it, you can sing on a hum. But if you do have a straw, you're doing that same thing through the straw. Okay, let's try a few of these, see how our voice feels afterward. Starting on C4 or C3. Here we go. Let's actually reverse the pattern. So instead of ooh, we'll start high. Ooh, and then we'll walk down from there. Here you go. Ooh, singing through the straw. Keep going. Okay, that's about as low as we need to go. Again, because we're cooling down, the purpose here is not stretching our voice or pushing our limits. So once you reach a point where you feel like, yeah, that's comfortably low, if I keep singing low, it's going to feel like effort. Just stop there. No need to continue. Okay, next exercise to help take down swelling is one of my favorites. And by the way, the rest of these exercises don't require any props. So if you didn't have a straw, no worries. This is the pufferfish exercise. So how we do this, first, to learn this, we're going to let our cheeks puff out as we blow air through our lips. Sorry about that noise on the mic. I'm backing away. Okay, so cheeks are puffing out, lips are almost closed, but there is air coming through. And now just add sound. Again, you're not just humming. You are letting air pass through. So if you take a finger or your hand, you should feel air that's blowing. And your cheeks are puffing out. Okay, if that feels unnatural to you, spend a little bit more time just with air and the cheeks puffing out. But when you're ready, add sound. And then we're going to do the same thing, same type of slide. I'm going to start you up a little bit higher, though, this time for high voices. So if you have a high voice or a lower voice, ooh, okay, we're on the pufferfish. You can add even more resistance by placing a finger in front of your lips or on your lips. So give that a try. See what feels better to you. The whole point here is that it should feel good to sing these. Again, we're not challenging ourselves so much. All right, so high voices, sopranos, you can be up here. Low voices, altos, you can be up there too, but I'm not going to be. Tenors, baritones, basses, you're starting here. All right, give it a try. We're puffer fishing. Walking down. Again, drop out if it's uncomfortable. If it gets too low, stop singing. Pufferfish, if you've just joined us. Low voices, you still there? All right. Lastly, any semi-occluded or semi-closed exercise will provide you this benefit of helping to take down swelling and getting your vocal folds operating efficiently, but in a gentle way. So, some of my other favorite SOVTs or semi-occluded vocal tract exercises are lip trills, tongue trills, raspberries, the NG sound, like the end of the word sing. Mm. And then what we'd call a chewing hum. Mm. So you're humming, but you're letting your jaw open and close as a way to just release, soften, relax that jaw. So keep that in mind. If you only have time for a 1 minute or 2 minute cool down, these are the exercises to prioritize. Exercises with partial closure. So it's not just an open vowel. Ah, there's closure somewhere in the vocal tract. So we started with straw or straw in water. Then we learned the pufferfish. And then we ended with some of the more classic semi-occluded or SOVT exercises. Again, what to do on those? Typically, we're just going from high to low instead of low to high, as we would do with a vocal warm up. And then we're stopping when we feel like that's comfortably low. Okay, next group of exercises are to re-enter our speaking voice range. So while warm-ups generally stretch our vocal folds and increase intensity, cooldowns gradually relax our vocal folds and decrease intensity. So we're going from this time an ooh to an o. Head voice friendly ooh, ooh, and then oh. Again, gliding, sliding. Ooh, nice and easy, starting here or here. 1, 2, ready, go. Ooh, walking down. Last one. If you want to take that lower, you could. Low voices. I'm going to drop out here. Here you go. 2, ready, and. Nice job. All right. Let's alternate now from a hum to an O. Exercise is going to sound like this. Again. You can slide as I'm doing between those pitches. Precision really does not matter much here. So starting on A4 or A3. Walking down. At some point, that last pitch is going to be in your speaking voice. So for me, that was that one right there. Here you go. Keep going if you want. All right, and last exercise to take us into our speaking voice. We're going to sing, figure out a key first. We'll sing, ooh, yeah. And eventually that yeah will be in our speaking or chest voice range. Let's start a bit higher though this time for high voices. Ooh, yeah. Or up an octave. Here we go. Ready? And sing. Ooh, yeah. And when you land in your chest voice or speaking voice, don't think of it as clunking down or, dropping into the throat, so to speak. Rather, think about gliding and just gently landing in a nice, easy speaking voice. Ooh, yeah. Instead of, ooh, yeah, and being very harsh about it. Okay, so nice, easy landing. I assume that after our vocal cool down, we're done singing for the day, or at least for a while, but we'll probably be talking. So that's why we're narrowing the range and we're getting back into our speaking voice from our singing range. Here you go. Again, ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. If it's too low, drop out. High voices, though, we're going to keep going for you. So I'd love to know before we stretch and massage, I'd love to know how these exercises are feeling for you. Um, I hope that your warm up never hurts. But I hope that you can feel all of these exercises are not getting harder, they're getting easier. And hopefully they feel really nice. Before we continue, I'm going to see. I think I have a cool down for different voice types here on the YouTube channel, but I'm going to find those links for you real quick. Okay, so this one is called a warm down instead of a cool down. Same idea. So here is a 4-minute vocal warm down for low voices. And when I say low voices, I'm usually referring to tenors, baritones, and basses. So cool down for tenor, baritone, and bass. There's that link for you in case you want something that's just exercises. And then warm down for high voices or cool down. High voices meaning soprano, mezzo, and alto. There's the link for that. Okay, any questions so far about what a cool down is, what the purpose of it is, when to use it? We'll have plenty of time for questions today because we are sailing through this cool down. But if you have questions, you can put those in the chat if you're here live. And we're going to end this cool down with a stretch and breathing and some massage. So get ready for that next. But if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Pete, one of the Pete's, is saying if you put these exercises together, it could be the song the sirens sang. All of this sliding for sure. Okay, ready to stretch with me? So we're going to inhale our arms up, stretch over to one side. We're not forcing it, we're just letting gravity do the work. Hang out here for a second. Inhale, arms up again. Exhale over to the other side. And feel free to just adjust, move around, find where the stretch that your body wants is happening. And come on up. Keep your breath going easily, softly. Your belly muscles are moving freely. Roll those shoulders back. If you want, you can roll them forward. Good. Drop your head toward one shoulder or your ear toward one shoulder. And you can lean forward a little bit, lean back a little bit, find what feels good. If you want to intensify this stretch, you can place one hand on your opposite shoulder. That is more than enough for me, but if you need more of a stretch, you can also place your other hand gently on the top of your head. Don't forget to breathe. Come on up. Other side. First, just let gravity do the work. If you want more of a stretch, a little bit of weight on this shoulder. And for even more, you can add a little bit of weight on your head. Notice if you're tensing any area while you're stretching another part of your body. So, for example, I just noticed my jaw was tensing as I was relaxing in my neck. So, just take a little scan every now and then. If you're tensing one area of your body, remind that part of your body, hey, we're all relaxing. All right. Come on up. We're going to do a little bit of massage. So, first, starting up here at our temples. If anything does not feel good, don't do it. But give yourself a little temple massage. Fingertips, knuckles if you want, even more. But fingertip pressure is perfect. All right. We have this big masseter muscle here, or one of your chewing muscles. We're going to drag our knuckles from our cheekbones down to our jawbone. Again, if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. You have a few options. So you've got just a slow pulling down or circles. That looks pretty trippy. All right. Thumbs, give the root of your tongue a gentle massage. So you don't think about the root of your tongue being here, but you can feel just underneath your chin. That is the root of your tongue. Give it a nice massage with your thumbs. And continuing to make our way down, smooth the muscles down the front of your throat. Not too much pressure on or around your larynx. We're not squeezing the larynx or anything like that, but just smoothing the skin down. And make your way to your neck. So from the front of the throat now to the sides and to the back. Remember that no part of our body is tensing or holding tension. So if you notice that, just gently tell that part of the body, hey, you get to relax as well. Okay, I'm in a chair, but if you also wanted to stretch out your legs or do any kind of floor stretch, you are more than welcome to. We're going to take a nice breath in through our nose and we're going to exhale and stretch our tongue all the way out of our mouth. So, this could be lion's pose in yoga if you're familiar or similar to it, but we're giving that tongue a nice stretch. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, tongue stretches out. One more time. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, tongue stretches. All right, take a scan. How's your body feeling? Is there anything that you feel maybe usually gets tense when you sing that we didn't stretch? And Pete is, we've got both Pete's sounding off in the comments. Um, People have called me a knuckle dragger all my life. I would never, Pete. I would never. And imposter Pete, how do you know when you have swelling? Ooh, such a good question. Is it only because you feel sore after you sing? Because I never feel soreness when I sing. Well, Pete, I'm very glad that you never feel soreness when you sing or after you sing. Um, Other signs of swelling, though, think about what happens when you're sick and have a sore throat. So, for some people, the pitch of their voice might drop a little bit. So if you're I'm thinking of the word. If your speaking voice has kind of dropped in pitch a little bit lower, that could be a sign of swelling. If you're having a hard time making high pitched noises or quiet noises, that's also a sign of swelling. To make high pitched noises, meaning, singing in head voice, "Ooh," or to sing quietly, "Ooh, ooh," in whatever register, that requires the thin edges of the vocal folds to vibrate. And if they're swollen, that's very difficult to do. Um, those are actually tests that, let's say you were experiencing hoarseness or other troubling vocal symptoms for 2 weeks or longer and you went to a laryngologist. That's actually part of the test that they would give to you, would be to ask you to sing anything up in your head voice, happy birthday, and to sing quietly. Um, so, oh, Pete, uh, if you're unable to do those things, that could be a sign of swelling. Another sign of swelling is not being able to have a clean onset. So, onset's just how you begin a note. Ah, ah. If you're unable to start a note cleanly, if it's starting with air, ah, and it's kind of effortful to start that sound, that would be another sign of swelling. Um, Okay, so more questions. Dark Sword, thank you so much. And Wendy as well. Awesome. I'm so happy. And what's the name of your microphone? An XLR cable. The XLR cable, I have no idea what brand that is, but the microphone, that's an easy one to answer. It's a Shure SM58. Um, and hi, Chrissy, welcome back. So this microphone, and this is not an advertisement for this microphone. This is just across the board. Almost everyone has or has used an SM58. They are kind of like the workhorses of the microphone world, especially for live performance. It is a dynamic microphone, not a condenser microphone. So it's actually uh, not as preferable to a condenser microphone for recording purposes. However, it's great for a live context because as a dynamic microphone, um, it is picking up what's in front of it and it won't be picking up so much of what's happening on the stage behind you. So that's how it's possible for a lead singer to sing on a microphone like this, and you're not getting sound bleeding in from the drums or the bass or the guitar, whatever else is happening on stage. So it's a good one for that, for being very limited and directional. A condenser microphone is what I would use to record on. Um, Typically, and those are much, much more sensitive, which is wonderful because it's picking up more character of the voice. Um, However, it's annoying because it picks up everything. So if I'm recording on my condenser microphone and someone is walking upstairs, I can hear the floorboards, or a car goes outside. Anyways, But yeah, Shure SM58, and it's pretty inexpensive as well. I think they go for maybe around $100, could be a little bit less. And the XLR cable, I have no idea. Um, awesome. Thank you, Lulu. Um, so we've just finished our vocal stretch and massage. If you went through that with me, were there any areas that you feel we missed or anything that you feel you're like, "Ooh, I normally tense in this area when I sing, and I would love a stretch for that." I think last thing that we can do is return to our relaxed breathing, though. So let's, after we've cooled down our voice and stretched out our body and given ourselves a little massage, um, let's return to our breath. And Mark is saying you can lower the output so it doesn't pick up as much background noise. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, good tip, Mark. Um, so let's place our hands on our belly. Nice, soft, relaxed belly. Just breathing in and out, reminding ourselves that we don't have to carry any tension or squeeze anything. We're just all loosey goosey right now. So inhale, feel that belly relax. Imagine that there's a balloon within your belly that's filling up. I know there's not, and I know your lungs are much higher than your belly. But we love those relaxed belly muscles when we breathe. So let them move. Inhale, exhale. You can close your eyes if you like. Inhale and exhale. We can actually get even calmer and lower our heart rate a little bit if we inhale for, let's say, 4 counts and exhale for 8. So inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to go a little bit faster than that. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so just a few more minutes on cool downs. And by the way, you are welcome to ask any questions. It does not have to be related to cool downs. Okay. Yeah, I truly don't know. And I don't even know where to track down the information because I bought this cable so long ago. I'm sorry about that. So last thing about cooldowns, I linked at the start, I linked 2 videos for you, one for higher voices, one for lower voices. But the thing about a cooldown, you might not have it on your phone or you might not have access to the internet at the time when you want to cool down your voice. So, just a few principles to keep in mind. I said these at the start, but I'm going to say them again. So, a cool down you can lead yourself or guide yourself through just by taking your voice from your full wide singing range into a narrower speaking voice range, by using semi closed exercises, by not pushing yourself, just going to where you're comfortable and stopping there. um, that's about it. That's about it. Slides are also good, and generally exercises that take you from high to low. So you don't need to be a voice teacher and have all of these exercises prepared for yourself. You can just, let's say you did a gig or just a more intense practice session and you want to cool down your voice, what could that look like? That could be as simple as you going, okay, I'm going to start with the lip trill. And then a little bit lower than that. And then a little bit lower. You don't have to be too precise with the pitch. You're gradually getting lower each time. And I'm stopping where my voice wants to stop. I'm not trying to push it lower than that. So that could be your cool down. You could take your time with it. You could, do more than one exercise, but I just want to encourage you, if you feel the need to cool down your voice, that you can do so very casually, very informally, on your own. And I'll share a little bit about when I started cooling down my voice and why. In all my years taking voice lessons, and this includes going to college, taking private lessons there, um, I was never led through a vocal cool down that I remember. It was not a regular thing in lessons. Um, and I only realized the need for a vocal cool down when I started doing these 3-hour gigs. And I would sing at a hotel or a restaurant and I'd be singing, with breaks, but it was a 3-hour gig. And afterwards, I I I just did not feel good. I wasn't doing anything wrong per se, but my voice was tired. It was definitely swollen, and I didn't wanna talk on the phone with anybody. Like, my husband would call and wanna talk on my drive home, be like, "Oh, my voice, I just can't talk." Um, so I knew that I needed something to help me reset after those long gigs. So for you as well, if you don't feel the need to cool down, then maybe you don't need to. But if you are feeling like, ooh, yeah, something's a little bit off, my speaking voice doesn't feel as relaxed or as clear, then you might benefit from this. And what's more, if you the next day, so let's say you do a lot of singing and then the next day you wake up kind of hoarse or swollen or sore, that's another sign that you should incorporate a cool down after your practice session or your performance, whatever it is. Um, so, anyways, like with all of these things, I didn't start enjoying and taking warm ups seriously until I realized what a difference they made. And same thing for cool downs. And I don't cool down after every single practice session or performance. But if I'm feeling a little bit off or feeling that I worked my voice or just knowing, hey, I just used my voice for a couple hours, then I cool down in the car on the way home. Um, so, questions, concerns, anything I can help you with. Again, doesn't have to be related to cool downs, anything voice or music. I am here for you for the next 15 minutes. Done cooling down. We're cool. I'm going to search for this XLR cable just in case I can find it. In all likelihood, based on the time that I bought this, in all likelihood, it was from Guitar Center, probably not Amazon, because I used to buy all my stuff, at Guitar Center. How long have you been doing gigs and music for? That's a great question. I started doing musical theater when I was 7. I did musical theater throughout high school. College, I went to school for music. Post college, I started gigging. I'm not gigging now at the moment, at least not regularly. Um, but post college for many years I was gigging. And yeah, how long has music been a part of my life and singing? Forever. I don't remember a time without music. When you take breaks between sets, oh, such a good question. When you take breaks between sets, should you let your voice rest or warm it up a bit again? Me personally, because those breaks are usually 5 to 15 minutes, I'm resting my voice completely during that time. Um, I the way I see it, your voice hasn't cooled down enough because you were just singing. So let's say you sang for 45 to 50 minutes and then you have a 10-minute break. Um, that 10-minute break is not going to like reset me um, or take me out of the game, if that makes sense. So for me personally, I would not feel the need to warm up again. I would just take that opportunity for complete vocal rest, hydration, bathroom break, maybe a little snack. Um, if your break is like, if it's a break between shows, then maybe a little bit of a re warm up. But again, you don't have to start from scratch. You wouldn't have to, do a full warm up because you're probably still warm from before. And Mark, what if you've overused to the point where you can't manage to do the exercise? Great question. Um, I would still, if possible, Mark, I would still attempt something very, very gentle through the straw, even if it's not wide range by any stretch, just so that your vocal folds have a chance to come together efficiently again and to help take down a little bit of that swelling. So, if all those other exercises are too much, at the very least, I would if that's manageable. If it's not, and if all you really need is complete vocal rest, then hey, listen to your body. Um, don't force it. But I would say if I'm feeling really out of sorts, I would still do just a little bit of something semi occluded in a very, very narrow, easy range. And again, that's just to help take down a little bit of swelling and to get your voice back to coming together cleanly. Um, Wendy, how would I know what my natural singing voice is? Have you done a video regarding this? I know that I've done videos around that topic and I've certainly recorded some. Have they been edited and posted is the question. Um, so it's a bit of a tricky question to answer because in some way, especially when we're learning to sing, we're always imitating someone else. Whatever song we're singing, part of us is kind of imitating the original artist of that song or the singer that we learned the song from. And I personally think that's okay. It only becomes a problem if you remain stuck in imitation mode for the duration of your singing career or singing journey. So, for example, if you're a singer who just loves, Alicia Keys, and you listen to nothing but Alicia Keys and you copy her, basically, you're doing an impression of Alicia Keys, then that might be, I wouldn't call it a problem, but you're limited to that very specific tone and style. Um, so my general advice for you is that imitation is fine, especially in the beginning and as you learn new songs, imitation is how we learn, it's an auditory skill that we're working on. Um but when it comes to your natural voice, your natural style, a few things to try. One would be noticing how you sing when you're doing a warm up instead of a song. So, what do you sound like, and what does it feel like to sing when you're doing just ah? Because there you're not trying to be anyone else, you're just making sound. Um, Second would be singing a folk song or something where you're not thinking of a specific artist's version of it. So let's say something like Amazing Grace or um yeah, really any folk song or song that you've heard so many versions of that one specific version is not top of mind for you. Um, Sing that and see what you sound like. Sing a lullaby. Consider writing your own music. That might be further down the road, but that's another way to discover your voice is by seeing what kind of music you write. And I think another way is to think about your musical influences and the people that you really enjoy singing like, and kind of identifying what parts of those singers feel natural to you, feel like you're not doing an impression. It just kind of comes out naturally. Um, so I hope that helped, Wendy. I'll see if I have done some videos on that, but my advice would probably be along those lines. Hi, Stephen. And do you avoid certain foods to protect your voice? Great question. Um, I personally avoid sugar and dairy. And the reason I avoid those is because when I eat sugar or dairy products, I feel that the mucus on my vocal folds is a little bit thicker and I feel the need to clear my throat more often. Um, that's just me though. So some singers, they are unaffected by dairy or sugar. Really, the only way to figure that out is to do a little experiment for yourself. For some people, maybe caffeine, spicy food. Um, but yeah, for me, those are the two. If I have something really important, I'm not going to be drinking milk beforehand. I'm going to be limiting my sugar intake probably for the day or two before. But again, you don't need to avoid it if it doesn't affect you negatively. Um, how to improve high range? So, that is a great question, but it depends on the register we're talking about. Because the way that we approach, let's say, chest, high chest voice versus high head voice is going to be quite different. So, I'm going to do a little bit of searching both for Wendy and for Alu. And Mark is saying, I can't sing before a cup of tea. And Mark, is that because of the hydration, the caffeine, or just the ritual? Um, okay. So, Wendy, here's one video for you. Ah, here we go. This one is called Your Natural Singing Voice. That's along the lines of what we're looking for. And that's a newer video as well. That was posted a month ago. Ooh, forgot about this. Here's a whole live lesson on how to develop your unique vocal sound. So we've got a lot of stuff for you, Wendy. Okay. And then now we're looking for range extension. All right. So here is, and I'm gonna write down range extension just to separate those 2 groups of videos, although Mark's commented that as well. So there's vocal range extension. Again, that's an hour-long lesson for you. And then another one that's similar, vocal range extension for each register. Again, that's another hour-long lesson. Okay. So that'll be a better answer than what I can give you right now. And Mark answered maybe the hydration, but tea gives me energy and partly because I'm addicted to it. Yeah. You know, I've had to give up coffee lately for acid reflux reasons and I really really miss it. But coffee is another one that people have questions about with singing, because it can be a little bit drying or dehydrating, and some people can mitigate that just by drinking more water. Other people, it's just no matter what, if they drink coffee, their voice is going to be a little bit rougher, a little bit harder to manage. So they have to avoid it before singing. And then other people, they're like, my voice doesn't feel as great, but I just need the caffeine. So ultimately, it is a personal decision. I can't think of anything that it's like across the board. Every singer needs to avoid this specific thing because again, foods affect us differently. Well, there you go. Mark remembers that I mentioned I always have coffee before a gig. Yeah, I'm I miss coffee. I love it. Um, but would I have coffee on stage with me, like coffee with cream and sugar as I'm singing? No, I would not. And what do I do for a living for now as a singer? So it's a mix of teaching and then doing remote session work. Um, so that means I work from home, and when people have a project for me to sing on, I do that from my home studio. Um, I'll actually send you, there's a few different sites. One is called Sound Better, another is called Air Gigs. And so I will send you my little profile on there. You can take a look. There's one that I'm hired on to do remote gigs. And then Air Gig is the other. See if I can find my profile on there. But yeah, honestly, a lot of teaching. A lot of teaching as well. When I sing, sometimes I stumble my words. Is there anything I can do? Lulu, I would start with um, taking away the melody and just focusing on the lyrics and the rhythm, and slowing down as well. I know that sounds like really basic advice, um, but that's what I do as well. If I'm having that issue, there's another site for remote session work. And if you're a session singer or musician, you should get on those sites as well. Anyways, Lulu, yeah, if you're stumbling over words, identifying specifically where that's happening, isolating that spot, going slowly, and again, dropping the melody so that all you have to focus on is diction or pronunciation, and rhythm. Yeah. All right, my friends. Well, this was a nice chill lesson. I will see you next week. Oops, sorry. Hit my desk. Let me tell you what we're going to be covering next week. So it's going to be next Tuesday, the 9th, 12 p.m. Pacific. Ooh, agility exercises for all genres, not just pop R&B. So if you're more of a classical person or jazz or musical theater, we'll all have fun with that. I look forward to it, and I thank you for being here. Bye.